in propelling him forward. That's why this is key. His poll numbers are good in New Hampshire, but everywhere else, they're in the single digits. That's why a victory on Iowa caucus night is so significant. And, well, Senator Sanders may have picked up a new legislative endorsement. We should note Kevin Costner in this race endorsed Pete Buttigieg.
Kevin
We're here at the
Costner.
Field of Dreams, David.
There you go. Vaughn Hilliard, trying to stay warm there in Dyersville. Appreciate the reporting as always.
It's like 40 degrees, we should know. It's
all right,
a good day.
fair enough. It looks colder than it is. All right. Senator Elizabeth Warren getting a break from the impeachment trial this weekend. Ali Vitale is covering the Warren campaign, as she has been. She is here with me now from Cedar Rapids in Iowa. She is somebody who has been removed from this campaign for some time. She's talked about that, her constitutional duty, keeping her in Washington, D.C., alongside many other candidates running for the nomination. What's she doing now that she's back on the ground? Her campaign officially hitting 1 million donors, she was proud to announce.
She's soaking up as much time as she can with voters, as you can see right behind me. So I'm going to kind of ride the wave and speak at a whisper until they applaud. But that 1 million donor metric that you talked about is important for any campaign, but especially for a campaign like Warren's that prides itself on grassroots support. And frankly, its campaign strategy hinges on it, not just from the way in which they're funding the campaign, but from the way that they have their volunteers and organizers stand out here on the ground in Iowa. It's a key part of their calculus of winning this state, but so is having the candidate here, and you mentioned this. Elizabeth Warren has been splitting her time between Iowa and Washington, with Washington, frankly, winning most of the days. Now she's back, and she's back with a new campaign closing pitch. Listen.
I also want to say thank you to everybody who got in this presidential race, whether they're still in it or not. You know, people got in this out of an act of service to our country. And some different ideas about how to do it, but all wanting us to build a better America. And we're down to the final strokes here, but understand, we must come together as a party and beat Donald Trump.
And look, David, when you think about that message here that I just heard a few minutes ago, contrasted with how you and Shaq started talking at the beginning of this segment with how Congresswoman Tlaib was talking about Hillary Clinton, that only brings up the baggage of Bernie Sanders from 2016. Elizabeth Warren, of course, the candidate who we talk about as the other progressive senator in this race, her and Bernie Sanders on policy, pretty much in lockstep. I think the key for her here, and why we hear her making that argument as part of her closing pitches, she's sort of trying to appeal to the Bernie Sanders voters, but maybe other moderate voters who like her, but want to know that she can be progressive and unite the party in favor of beating President Donald Trump.
Ali Vitale expertly deploying what Mike Memoli calls the Gulf announcer voice there in Cedar Rapids, Iowa. Let me ask you quickly, we heard Vaughn Hilliard talking to Mayor Pete Buttigieg about the importance of Iowa. This is a state that has been hugely important for Senator Elizabeth Warren for some time. She was really the first candidate to establish an infrastructure there, and for some time, I believe, it was the largest in the state. What is the campaign saying about how she does on Monday night?
If not the largest, then one of the largest. And that's why, even though she hasn't led in a poll here since September, there's a lot of respect, frankly, for the formidable ground game that her and her campaign have amassed here on the ground in Iowa. There is, though, an expectations game that's also being played here. When I talked to Julian Castro, one of her key surrogates here earlier in the week, I said, does she need to win Iowa? He immediately told me, I don't think she needs to win here. He thinks she'll do well. But again, no one is out here trumpeting that they think Elizabeth Warren will win outright. There is a lowering of expectations happening. That's not just on the ground, it's also in a campaign memo from her campaign manager, Roger Lau, that came out a few weeks ago that sort of tamped down on the importance of the early states and instead laid out their strategy for a full national campaign that goes way deeper into the primary.
Now we mentioned Julian Castro. I believe there's an event tonight in Davenport, Iowa. He's going to be at with the senator from Massachusetts. Ali Vitale, thank you very much. I appreciate the update on the Warren campaign. After months of bitter back and forth, we now know how the rest of Donald Trump's impeachment is likely to play out. After that 51-49 vote against allowing witnesses to testify in the trial, the closing arguments in the trial begin on Monday, the same day as the Iowa caucus. Senate deliberations are on Tuesday, the same day as the State of the Union is scheduled to take place. And on Wednesday, more deliberations, if needed, than the final vote on whether to acquit or remove the President of the United States. Garrett Haake is covering events on Capitol Hill. Joins us now on this Saturday. Garrett, take us into the well of the Senate yesterday, and there was so much confusion, obviously some tension as well among Republicans, the Republican caucus, about the timing for all of this. I just ticked through some some of it there, but there were many Republican senators who had hoped that this could get resolved. The vote could be tied by Monday or at least Tuesday in time for the State of the Union to take place, with this behind the Senate and the nation as well.
Yeah, there were Republican senators who thought they might have even been able to jam through an acquittal vote before they went to bed Friday night into Saturday, hoping to run the clock Friday night and force this through. But what became clear after that witness vote is the Republicans were almost entirely united on the question of witnesses. They were more divided on exactly how they wanted to see this trial wrap up. There were some aligned with the president who wanted to get it done as expeditiously as possible, certainly before the State of the Union. Some wanted to even have it done before the president sits down for an interview on Fox News during the Super Bowl. So there was some who wanted to rush, and there were some who wanted to have a more drawn-out process here, an opportunity to give speeches on the floor. When you talk about deliberations here, that is Senate code in this case for floor speeches, an opportunity for these senators to defend their votes. And the Republicans found themselves in this position because Democrats were not going to help them move anything along speedily here. They wanted to continue this process, have the final vote in the light of day, as it now will be on Wednesday.
An expert on parliamentary procedure and Senate nomenclature, one Garrett Haake, joining us on a Saturday from Capitol Hill. Garrett, thank you very much. A lot of news coming out of Washington as well. As I mentioned, President Trump's expected impeachment acquittal will now happen after his State of the Union address, which is scheduled to take place on Tuesday. The president is at his Mar-a-Lago residence in West Palm Beach, Florida this weekend. We find NBC News White House correspondent Kelly in Palm Beach. Kelly, great to speak with you. And I want to ask you about the president's reaction to what's been taking place. Like those Republican senators Garrett and I were just talking about, I imagine he was among those who'd hoped this had been resolved before the State of the Union. His public comments have taken place on Twitter this morning. A photograph of him playing golf, saying he's getting some exercise in on this Saturday morning.
One can only think, David, that he's trying to project some kind of a state of mind, perhaps, that he is enjoying a weekend and not stressing. That might be one interpretation. Others might view it as the president getting away from all of the drama in Washington. It's really open to how people want to interpret that. But it is unusual because we have typically not seen the president showing us pictures of his golf game. We know he golfs frequently. It's one of his big passions. But often the White House is reluctant to tell us who he's golfing with, or even confirming that he's actually golfing when he's at one of his golf properties here in Florida, or when we're back in the D.C. area. He has one in Virginia as well. But this today was the president sort of showing us his swing. Perhaps he's driving toward the end of impeachment. We can try to decipher it, but he has a big couple of days ahead of him. Here in Florida, there's sort of the social side. Well, he will have a chance to enjoy a Super Bowl party that's hosted at the Mar-a-Lago Resort, and those sorts of things that lots of Americans are doing related to the big game over the weekend. And then, of course, he's got Tuesday's State of the Union, and presumably, and we just have to presume he's practicing that speech, which is one of the biggest highlights of any president's year, is scheduled for Tuesday. And as you pointed out, he had hoped that he'd be able to enter that chamber without the cloud of impeachment. That is not to be this time. David?
Ask you quickly here about a couple of big issues he's having to deal with as the president. One is the coronavirus, as I reported at the top of the last hour, the 8th case in the United States, confirmed case, taking place, confirmed in Massachusetts, the Commonwealth of Massachusetts. The White House had a briefing yesterday for reporters with part of the president's task force on the coronavirus. I want to ask you about that, how the president's handling that, and also these cryptic retweets from this morning about the leader of a terrorist.
Dude, I got a copyright strike.
Not confirming the death of that individual himself, but retweeting a reporter for Yahoo News and the head of an NGO, leading us to wonder if, in fact, that was presidential confirmation that that terrorist has been killed.
Officials are only saying the tweets speak for themselves, which is a typical response we get from the White House when the president is tweeting something that really sort of demands more explanation, so we don't have further clarification there. On the coronavirus, the president has spoken about that at his most recent rally, talking about the fact that the U.S. is in pretty good shape. China, he said, is not. And, of course, his officials that are a part of the task force explained some really kind of far-reaching steps that they're taking. And when I say far-reaching, I mean the U.S. has not had quarantine like this in decades, where individuals who are U.S. citizens coming from China could face up to 14 days of quarantine, certain foreign nationals not being permitted in the country, encouraging self-quarantine for people who might be exposed. Officials are saying the risk is low in the United States, but they want to take these steps to keep it that way. And they are working with state and local health government agencies and organizations, as well as the hospital community and so forth, to try to prevent that spread where they can. That task force is up and running. David?
Kelly O'Donnell with the update there from West Palm Beach in Florida. Kelly, thank you very much. I appreciate it. And the impeachment trial has reached its final phase, as we've been discussing, in the United States Senate. But there is still a number of ongoing investigations in the House of Representatives. We're going to take a look at those investigations still in progress and talk about what they could mean for the president's future.
All right. Whew. I'm actually going to go ahead and play my video from earlier today. And I notice more and more people are playing it, which is cool. 1 second.
Good evening. Good morning. Wherever time you're in. Welcome to the What is Truth broadcast / podcast. I'm your humble servant. I just wanted to greet y'all to let y'all know you have a podcast to come to if you want to hear truth. If you want to establish the truth from lies, feel free to come on in, make yourself a home, relax, and enjoy the show. Peace.
It's the world's first 18-karat gold-plated technological marvel with 200 precision. Flawless has reimagined a new way to shave. So smooth and precise, it won't nick or cut or leave bumps or burns, even in your most sensitive areas.
I don't have to use shaving creams. I don't have to spend any more time in the shower. I just grab it and go and shave whenever I need to.
Flawless new razor is like no razor you've seen before. An elegant curved handle design for a perfect non-slip grip. A pivoting head that glides and contours effortlessly over every curve. Actional, so you can shave up or down for silky smooth skin.
I love that I can glide over my knees. I can get around my ankles. So if you are on the go and you want to get the best shave, you're going to want this razor.
A revolutionary new way to shave. So precise, yet gentle to the touch.
It's so gentle. It can't nick or cut you, and it's perfect for new shavers like me.
Rechargeable and eco-friendly. Instant, painless, waterless shaving. Anywhere, anytime. And with its LED light, you'll hair.
It is such a close shave, and it's not like anything I've used before. I can actually have silky smooth legs, even though I have no time to shower.
Experience the future in shaving. Get yours now at newrazor.com for only $39.99 or call 1-800-579-5675. Order right now when your shipping is free.
I haven't felt a smoother shave.
Flawless new razor.
This is the razor that every woman wants. There's a company that's talked to even more real people than me. J.D. Power, 448,134 to be exact. They answered 410 questions in 8 categories about vehicles. I need a bigger room.
The damage the president does in pushing out the Russian conspiracy theories were identified
during the House proceedings, and you've heard as Russian intelligence propaganda, the danger that Vladimir Putin signed over his own intelligence agencies. That's a danger today. That's a danger that continues every day he pushes out this Russian propaganda.
Given that, can anyone trust that 2020 will be a free and fair election? Joining me now is Malcolm Nance, MSNBC contributor and author of The plot to betray America. This is kind of the ultimate nightmare, Malcolm, that you had the Republican Party tell Donald Trump that it is not impeachable, and even if it's inappropriate, he's free to pursue foreign help to get reelected. He's already said he'd like China to help him. He'd like Russia. He's open to everybody. Do you have confidence that the next election will be free and fair? I'm going to put up a poll that shows that a lot of Americans do not.
Well, I think that we are standing into a measure of danger that is going to be extremely, extremely critical for the American Republic. It's not only that Donald Trump is being given permission on the basis of what he's done in the past to go in this election. This vote next Wednesday, when he is acquitted, will give the entire world permission to attack the United States and perhaps be rewarded for it. So just imagine next November, second Tuesday of next November, it may not be Russia providing political propaganda beyond what they did in 2016. Imagine North Korea loosing their entire global hacking network on the Democratic Party and supporting Donald Trump's reelection. It could be bad.
Right, but you've got the Saudis, you've got Israel, you've got Turkey, you've got all sorts of countries that may have an interest in who becomes the next United States president. And that poll that we just put up shows that overall 52% of Americans say that they think the U.S. is prepared versus 41% who think the U.S. is not prepared to keep this election safe and secure. Among Democrats, it's only 31% who feel confident. Obviously, Republicans feel very confident because if it is interfered with, it's probably to their benefit, and only about 51% of independents. Is there anything being done at all to keep in other countries out of our election systems, and not just propaganda-wise, but what if we wake up the night election and we're told Trump won Vermont? How would we even deal with an actual interference in the vote?
Right. I mean, again, a direct attack on the United States where a nation state has decided that they are going to actually hack the results and make it so obvious in such a way that one party, the Republicans, say, well, that's just too bad. That's the result of the election. Donald Trump wins. And the other party is left standing there blinking at a president who now believes he can do anything he wants.
You can see the propaganda here. Welcome to everybody who is viewing this video or who's going to be listening to this on the replay. Yeah. So this video is going to be titled MSNBC Propaganda. And once again, AM Joy never fails when it comes to propaganda. And she brings her usual guest on, Malcolm Nance. See? Something I wanna go back to. Let's see. It's that chart.
Right. I mean, again, a directed.
Okay. Yeah, it didn't do anything.
Yeah, I heard this.
Something I want to go back to. I'm trying to get to that chart. Oh, here it is.
That's on black people.
Here it is. Yeah, this chart here. Do you think it is likely that many votes will actually be counted during this year's elections? And you got your various responses. Very prepared. Prepared, not pre-prepared, not prepared at all. I don't know about you, but that's kind of a confusing question. Let me read that again and try to analyze it a bit better. Do you think it is likely that many votes will not actually be counted during this year's elections? this is what they're worried about. When they have never proven that outside forces have not tampered with the 2016 elections. I tell you, they just can't get off the fact that Donald Trump won fair and square in 2016. And it wasn't necessarily the votes that helped them win. It was the electors at the Electoral College that helped them win, not the voters. See, I don't know why they keep spreading this propaganda. But they love spreading this propaganda because they think it's going to stick. But if you don't believe in the polls, it's not going to stick. Because the polls are very misleading too, saying that 75% of Americans want the impeachment process to include witnesses. When you actually talk to people out on the street, most people don't even know or even care about an impeachment trial or impeachment proceedings. See, jury show never fails in pulling this propaganda. And the answers to the question don't even really make sense. Very prepared, not very prepared, and not prepared at all. So, I guess the answer is, are you prepared that your votes will not be counted? Are you very prepared? Are you very prepared? And I'm looking at the percentages, and it's saying that I don't know if y'all can read the numbers. A total of 52% are prepared that votes will not actually be counted overall versus 41% who are not prepared that votes would not be counted at all. And then you got your different parties. So this is the propaganda poll that they like to pull. And then for real, the way I see this, people are not even thinking about this. People are not even thinking about this as a possibility. The average person's not worried about their vote not being counted. Because, especially if you consider yourself an American descendant of slavery, as American descendants of slavery, we're not worried about the presidential elections in the first place. We're more concerned about who we have as city council, who we have as aldermen. If your city has an alderman, some cities don't have aldermen. More people are worried about their mayor, or even as far up as their governor, who is the president of the state. That's the way I think of a governor as. Or they, Virginia, we call here General Assembly. Or their two state houses of Congress. Virginia, we have the House of Delegates and the Senate, and the state Senate. You know, other states may call theirs something different. So yeah, this is the propaganda that MSNBC likes to pull. And it's saying that most Democrats are not prepared, that their votes will not be counted, while Republicans, the majority of Republicans are prepared. While independents, 51 to 41%, are prepared versus not prepared, that their votes will not be counted during this year's elections. Interested though. Interesting response by the Republicans. Why would the Republicans, as well as your independents, would think there's going to be a backlash in this year's elections? That is something that I'm going to have to really ponder about. But it still doesn't make sense though. Because the impeachment trial ended in the Republicans' favor. Because Lamar Alexander refused to allow witnesses to testify. In other words, he thinks this whole impeachment trial is a charade too. And rightfully so. See? Which leads to, the potential of hacking taking place again. That's an interesting poll question though. I may have to screenshot it or something. I'm gonna have to screenshot this. But yeah, this is very interesting. But I'm gonna move on. Yeah, I'm glad I just at that time when I did that broadcast earlier today, a few hours ago. Yeah, I really couldn't wrap myself as to why the Republicans would be worried about their votes not being counted. And why independents will be worried about their votes not being counted. And it just hit me
as I was listening to this just now, listen to my earlier broadcast. It just hit me that, let's say the Democrats do win the presidential election. The people who usually vote Republican could easily say the Democrats stole our votes. You know what I'm saying? Especially if the Democratic nominee is like a Elizabeth Warren, for example. You know what I'm saying? They could easily say that somebody in the DNC had something to do with our elections being hacked, which was very opposite to what MSNBC and Joy Reid were saying earlier today. So, man, I wish I could have time off on Sunday so I could listen to their broadcast. I'm gonna have to see if I can record Joy Reid's broadcast on Sunday, just to see what she's talking about. And as a matter of fact, I saw there was supposed to be an interview being done with Pete Buttigieg. I saw that, and I'm sure there's gonna be a lot more than Pete Buttigieg being interviewed. But yeah, and I can see why now the Republicans and the Independents will be worried. See, and the thing is, they got the people under illusion that the Democrats are going to take the presidency back, in which, in my opinion, I don't think that's going to happen. I just don't see that happening. But you know, this is the Democrats and the liberal mainstream media. They will have you believe that the Democrats can win back the presidency and win back both houses of Congress. Yes. They will have you actually believing that. That's why they put that poll up there. That is exactly why they put that poll up there. And I think it's on the actually it's on the NPR website. It's on the NPR website. That's where at least they say that's where the source is from. So I mean, if anybody want to look for it, yeah, it's on that website. Matter of fact, since we're live on here and I'm sharing my screen with y'all, let's see if I can find that poll. Let's see if I can find that poll, and I'm gonna get back to the rest of my earlier address here. NPR.org. Let's see if I can find it. Staying with Public Radio. Let's see if I can find it. I might have to do a, let's see, let's go back. Let's see here. That's what I'm saying. That's why I say that. That's why I was saying early on that broadcast that the MSNBC are the masters of propaganda. Oh, they so masterful at it. Shoot, they make Fox News look like saints. Oh, wait a minute. I don't know if this is it. Nope. I don't think that's it. It's gonna be kind of hard to find it though. But I noticed on the bottom it did say it was on the. It was on the. Dang. So the MSNBC site. It was on. Nah, it was on the NPR website. That's what I meant to say. Interesting. Let's see. There's a lot of old articles here. I won't say all dates. I'm gonna say like past 7 days. Yeah. Here we go. Here it is. This might be the article. I think we might be able to find the poll. Find a photo of the poll question. I think this is it. This little thing in here. This might be it. I don't. Let's see. I don't physically see it, but I know I'm getting close. This is an interview here. I know we're getting close. American distrust of the voting process is widespread. Okay. I know I'm getting close. Let's see. This might be it? This might be it. Yes, this is it. Oh, indeed. Yes. This is the poll that I was talking about that MSNBC AM Joy's program put on today. Yep, this is the exact same thing I was talking about. Oh, I could, when I looked it through my other phone, my other phone had a cracked screen. I could barely see the numbers. I had to take my glasses off to really see the numbers. Really see the numbers. The shit look, because it looked so daggone small. Yes, this is it. Oh my goodness. Yup. Do you think the U.S. is prepared? This makes more sense. Okay, do you think the U.S. is prepared to keep this November's election safe and secure? Yes. Now the question makes more sense to me than the one MSNBC put on their program. Okay, I understand this now. Okay. Yeah, it took me a little while for my mind to wrap around it as to like, what are y'all really saying here? So this poll here is basically saying that the Republicans are prepared to ensure these November elections are safe and secured, in which the majority of Democrats are not prepared to ensure these November elections are safe and secure. This makes a lot more sense now. This makes a hell of a lot more sense now. Thank you. Oh man, yeah, I'm glad. See, one thing about MSNBC, they do make sure they quote their references. You just have to go out and find the crap. and in which this title of this article is saying that majority of Americans believe Trump encourages election interference. In which they emphasize at the bottom that 41% of those surveyed say they believe the U.S. is not very prepared or not prepared at all to keep November's elections safe and secure. Now this makes more sense to me now. Of course, the Republicans would not be concerned about the elections being safe and secure because they know their guy, Donald Trump, is going to win re-election. But only 30% of Democrats are basically not concerned, which is a pretty small percentage. Independents don't seem to keep being concerned. Independents don't seem to be concerned either. In which overall 52% of those surveyed are not concerned about any hacking in these upcoming November elections. In which they think the U.S. is prepared to ensure these November elections are safe and secure. It's interesting. See, this is why I like doing videos like this and finding sources. Because, man, you got to watch some of these TV networks. They real slick in how they craft everything. You know what I'm saying? They very slick in how they do this. Very slick. And, yeah, that's why the internet is so great. Because you can find stuff and it will counter what you, sometimes it will counter what you heard. And you know, NPR, they're pretty much neutral anyway for the most part. You know what I'm saying? Most of the time, they're pretty much neutral. The reason why I say for the most part, because they worried about the 41% who are not prepared at all to ensure November's election is safe and secure, as opposed to the 52% who say they are prepared. To ensure these November elections are safe and secure. You know what I mean? But you know, you can't trust all polls. Because you have to take these polls with a grain of salt. In the title of this article here is it's propaganda too. Because the majority of Americans don't believe Trump encourages election interference. You know what I'm saying? They don't believe that. They actually don't believe that. This is awesome. This is awesome. That's all I have to say about that. Wow, that just it just brings everything all together now. It just brings everything all together now. But also at the same time, you got to understand that NPR gets caught up in this disinformation as well. See, what they're afraid of is that the Democrats are going to lose not only the presidency, but also one or two houses in Congress. This is what they fear more than anything. And they should be scared because they haven't put forth a black agenda. You know what I'm saying? They're neglecting their ADOS constituency. And that's been the constituency that has been voted Democrat for over 50 years. And they know that's about the end. Starting with these November elections, in which ADOS is gonna vote down ballot. They have a voting down ballot strategy. And I like that strategy. I kind of wish we would have thought about that earlier, but we're considering it now because we're in the fourth quarter and moves got to be made in order for not only our ADOS constituency to survive, but to thrive. That is why we are placing that's why we are placing reparations as the focal point of our movement. Shout outs to Yvette Cornell and Antonio Moore for putting us on the map, for bringing this into fruition. Yeah. Oh yeah. This is another good article too. Very, very interesting. Yeah. Looks like NPR is caught up in the propaganda as well. But the way I see it, most people are very confident that these elections are going to be fair and accurate. So you can't believe all of these articles and stuff that are coming out about this. Uh-huh. Yeah. All right. Well, that settles that. That settles that. But yeah, let me go ahead and play the rest of my broadcast here, since I've already established my point. But in the meantime, let me go ahead and do something real quick too. Yep, this is my Twitter page. see this tweet here? This is the one that I was talking about. AM Joy and reads AM Joy show tomorrow with Pete Buttigieg. So, yep, your girl Joy Reid is enjoying herself in Iowa. All right. Let me play the rest of this here. If it plays. Uh-oh. Get a lot more plays now. Yes, sir.
Good evening. Good morning. Wherever time you're in. Because the impeachment trial ended in the Republicans' favor. Because Lamar Alexander refused to allow witnesses to testify. In other words, he thinks this whole impeachment trial is a charade too. And rightfully so. See? Which leads to, the potential of hacking taking place again. That's an interesting poll question though. I may have to screenshot it or something. I'm gonna have to screenshot this.
Wow. I'm reading tweets about what Joanne Reid used to do back in the days. Hey, y'all see some of these tweets here?
This is very interesting.
Hmm.
But I'm gonna move on.
Whew. This old one right here.
It won't let me screenshot it. Okay.
Back for last year, somebody brung this back up.
I understand.
American Republic. It's not only that Donald Trump is being given permission on the basis of what he's done
This
in
is
the
when
past
people
to
forgive
go and
her.
cheat in this election. This vote next Wednesday, when he is acquitted, will give the entire world permission to attack the United States and perhaps be rewarded for it. So just imagine next November, second Tuesday of next November, it may not be Russia providing political propaganda 2016. Imagine North Korea loosing their entire global hacking network on the
Don't this remind you of the Red Scare of the 1950s? And it's probably something that you would read in a George Orwell book. The most famous one he has written is 1984.
Wow. She follows. I can see why somebody would want Ryan Richardson to be interviewed on Joy and Reed's show. Yeah, she'll be perfect too.
That the origins of it
Hey, could have interviewed
the
her tomorrow.
during World War II. When the Nazis had control of Germany by the installation of Adolf Hitler. So, well, I have to tell you, they are spitting this quite well. And the reason why I'm chuckling at this is because I know this is for bullshit. Coming out of a horse's rear. You know what I'm saying? Like, for real, though. I mean, this is funny to me. This is real funny to me. It's real funny to me. I'm just... What can I say? This is comic relief here. Gotta enjoy it.
Democratic Party in supporting Donald Trump's re-election. It could be bad.
Right, you've got the Saudis, you've got Israel, you've got Turkey, you've got all sorts of countries that have been interested in who becomes the next United States president. And that poll that we just put up shows that overall 52% of Americans say that they think the U.S. is prepared versus 41% who think the U.S. is not prepared to keep this election safe and secure. Among Democrats, it's only 31% who feel confident. Obviously, Republicans feel very confident because if it is interfered with, it's probably to their benefit, and only...
Wait a minute.
About 51% of independents. Is there anything being done at all to keep in other countries out of our election systems, and not just propaganda-wise, but, what if we wake up the night election and we're told Trump won Vermont? How would we even deal with an actual interference in the vote?
Right. I mean, again, a direct attack on the United States where
Interference where Donald Trump wins Vermont. Wow. Whoa. I don't even know. For real, I don't even know. I can't even consider that a hack. I mean, if people of Vermont want to vote for Trump, I mean, that's their business. That's what they decide to do, Now all of a sudden, y'all guys at MSNBC, y'all consider that hacking? Vermont has been hacked. I mean, y'all couldn't even prove that Russia hacked our elections. But I tell you what, Hillary Clinton sure did a lot. Hillary Clinton and her campaign sure did a lot of hacking. Oh yeah. Yeah, y'all actually stole some votes away from the Green Party in certain states, such as Michigan. And all that vote still couldn't win the state of Michigan. Same goes for Wisconsin. See, the Democrats have lost their way by two things. They lost their way by neglecting ADOS, aka the American Descendants of Slavery. And they also lost their way by allowing government to move industries such as factories and manufacturing plants out of this nation.
in the areas in which Michigan and Wisconsin are part of that make up the whole industrial belt of the Midwest. That's how the Democrats have lost a lot of their votes. So you actually have, in which they eliminated the white middle class. That is why a lot of them switched over to the Republican Party. Not just because middle-aged Caucasian men feel like they are losing their country. So, yeah, that's pretty much it right there. In which your middle-aged Caucasian men now are seniors, which make up the baby boom generation, a large part of the elderly population are baby boomers. Yup. Which comes to the point as to why the Democrats are ensuring black elderly folks, especially those who are part of the silent generation, continue to vote Democrat. But see, their numbers are getting low, even though they're not low, as well as targeting undocumented immigrants. This is the name of the game that they're playing here. And like they said on their program, they're making it look like the Republicans are worried about their votes not being counted. The Democrats really need to be worried about the constituencies that they have lost during the years. And now it's coming to a full head that if the Democratic Party keep playing the same old, that it's going to be very hard for them to win a presidential election, much less any house in Congress, much less any governor seat, much less any state houses in Congress. State houses meaning state and local government, the two houses in your state government. Everybody state has a different name for the state and government. I know Virginia is the General Assembly. I think New York they call it the General Assembly too. Maybe that's the name of it. I'm not completely sure because I haven't lived in every state in this country, so I can't tell you that for sure. So yeah, very interesting, very unique propaganda they pulling out here. This is where your power of discernment comes in.
nation state has decided that they are going to actually hack the results and make it so obvious in such a way that one party, the Republicans, say, well, that's just too bad. That's the result of the election. Donald Trump wins. And the other party is left standing there blinking at a president who now believes he can do anything he wants in the national interest. So, of course, all of our opponents in the global threat arena, that's North Korea, as you said, Saudi Arabia has a very vested interest in keeping Donald Trump, Israeli, American, and other subcontractors to carry out nefarious hacking and intelligence activities. This nation is going to be under attack, cyber-wise, unlike anything that we've seen before. Not just disinformation, but I think we may possibly finally see people put their hands on the thumbs of the scales of American voting machines or tally machines at the state level, wherever they can. And it will be sloppy, will be so obvious that, again, there's nothing we're going to be able to do about it because one side will accept the result.
And, Evan McMullin tweeted that, the party that he used to be a member of, the Republican Party, is willing to do anything to keep power because they know demographically they're losing out, that they're not going to be able to maintain white Christian America, and so they're willing to even subvert the Constitution in order to control power. Do you believe, as John Meacham said on our air, that because of that, they have now essentially made Donald Trump into a king?
Yes. It's absolutely. We are at the point, and I wrote a whole book about it, my last book, where we are at the point where we are not living in a constitutional republic. A republic is a democracy in which the rights of the minority party are defended. Now what we have is we have a constitutional monarchy, or a constitutional autocracy, where Donald Trump is the supreme element of this state, like North Korea. And I think that if we don't reverse this in this upcoming election and fight to defend the American Constitution, that will be it for America as we've known it.
Wow. Malcolm Nance, thank you very much. As we like to say on the show, scaring is caring. We got to let people know what's going on. Malcolm Nance, you're always great. Thank you very much. Really appreciate it. And more AM Joy is coming up after the break. And I'm going to talk, by the way, over the other side of the break with Alex Wood. We're going to talk about impeachment. So don't go anywhere. Maybe grab some coffee during the break, but come back and stick around.
Don't go anywhere. Yep, the element of propaganda. Yeah, that's really all I want to see on this video. The propagandists, don't fall for it, because if you do, they'll have you going crazy. Believe me, you don't want to go crazy. And that is how I'm going to end this address. Y'all take it easy. Y'all have a good one. And I'll see y'all in the next video/podcast. Well, this is pretty much how I want to end it. But I pretty much said all that needs to be said. I can't believe this video is almost 3.5 hours. Wow. A lot of propaganda out there. Appreciate the support. Appreciate the love. Appreciate you viewing. And I'll definitely see you, or see y'all, or whoever is listening in the next video. Peace.